Hey y'all, how y'all doing today? I hope you found your peak to your day. Are you well on your way to finding it? I'm Shelia Edwards, and welcome on back into this Boozin kitchen where you know you're always welcome. What we gonna do today in here? You know, whatever it is, we're gonna keep it boozing, but today we're gonna mess with a little peach cobbler. Yes, we are, and it's a great day in the neighborhood, always, when you're cooking peach cobbler. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna add a little bit something on the end, try to add a little pizzazz to serving it up. But right now, let's get on over here on this stove and get these peaches going so we can put it in the oven and be eating in no time. All right, meet you on the stove. So what I have going in this pot right here is 2 of the large cans of clean peaches here. These are the 29-ounce cans. These 2 in the pot have already been drained. There's practically no other syrup in here. The 3rd can that I'm pouring in, it still has its syrup in. And in each cup, there's about a cup of that heavy syrup. But we don't want our cobbler to be so juicy, so therefore we drain 2 of the 29-ounce cans and poured the other one with syrup into our big pot that we're using here. Now, to this I'm going to add, and my eye is on, so the pot is already heating up. To this I'm going to add, this one right here is a 21-ounce can of this peach pie topping or filling, as they call it. So I like to use this because some recipes call for cornstarch and what have you. I don't put cornstarch in mine because this can right here contains cornstarch. So I'm gonna get it all in there and let that start melting together there. Okay, so now we're gonna go on and add a 1/2 cup of sugar. This is white sugar that I'm adding right here. And this is a 1/2 cup of brown sugar that's been packed, you know. Now I'm gonna put in my cinnamon, and this is a tablespoon, about a tablespoon of cinnamon. And I'm gonna go ahead and grate some nutmeg. I have a fresh nutmeg here that I'm going to go right on ahead and get some of that grated down in there. And if you don't have fresh nutmeg, just use the nutmeg that's already in the little jar, a little seasoning jar. Okay, so that comes to a good 1/4 nutmeg there. Okay, about a fourth. You want about a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. So I got that in there. First looked like the nutmeg wasn't coming out until I looked in there. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so now I'm gonna add, using a stick of butter here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and break it up and let it get down in there. Breaking it off in chunks there so to go ahead and melt. And we're not really cooking the peaches in here because they're already softened. We're just getting everything together before we transfer it into the dish that we're gonna actually cook the cobbler in. So that's all coming together. And into this, I'm gonna go ahead and add, this is a tablespoon of lemon juice. Get a little tart in there. All right. And the last thing I'm gonna add in there is this right here is Bacardi rum, and I'm putting 3 tablespoons of that because you know it's gonna always be boozy. So there we have all the ingredients in there for this cobbler, and we're just gonna let it go for about 2 minutes or so until I see that the butter has melted. Okay, so now we have our peach filling into the pan that I'm going to be, or the dish that I'm going to be using to bake the cobbler in. Now I'm getting ready to put my first crust, my first crust on there. And what I am using is this appears the crescent dough sheet. If you cannot find the crescent dough sheet, then just get a roll of just crescent dough. I like to use this as the first layer because it makes that filling, that first round of the filling, and see it comes in a roll like so. And so it makes that first round just a little creamy. And we're just gonna get it on here, on top, and we're good. You see? I'm just gonna stretch it over the top. Yeah, the filling is a little hot, but you know, not like piping hot, burning me up. Okay, so now I'm gonna get this into an oven at 350 degrees and let this bake for about 12 to 13 minutes. Now while the cobbler is baking with the first crust, we're gonna get our strips cut up out of this dough for the second crust, and we're gonna try to kind of lace it across the top, but not really lace because that's really an intricate process if you are doing a cold pie, but this one's gonna be hot, so it's kind of difficult to lace a cobbler because it's hot, but we're gonna put it on there in somewhat of that fashion. So we're not gonna be making the crust from scratch. We don't need to go through all that because I know that's intimidating for some of us. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and roll one of these two. This comes with 2 crusts in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this rolled out. I'm gonna use my pizza cutter to start cutting strips off here, right here on the counter. So we just get it rolled out like that. And then you start cutting your strips like so. Kind of decide how wide you want them. And then once I get these cut up, I'm gonna go ahead and put these back in the refrigerator. And you know, they don't have to be the exact same size, you know, just kind of eyeball it there to keep it looking good. And see, now we got these, okay? In some kind of way, we're gonna get these over that pie, all these strips. So now I'm gonna put them in the refrigerator and wait for our pie to come out the oven. So the cobbler is out of the oven with the first crust already brown, and you want to make sure that that gets brown before you take it out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this crust up into the cobbler. Okay. Okay. Once we get this all broke up into that cobbler, then we're going to come across the top with our next layer of crust. Okay, so now what you see me doing here is using these strips that we've cut up, you know, that we had in the refrigerator. We're using these strips now to kind of lace, and to kind of mimic a lace on the pie. Let me put it that way. Okay, so I'm leaving just a little space between there so we can have that that lattice look, you know. And then I'm gonna come across here. Get to the edge first. Okay, and I'm just gonna keep doing this until I have these all the way across my pie. So you kind of get the picture of what I'm doing here. Okay, so we got our lace all laying down there, and I put a little heart in the middle, so hopefully it'll still look like a heart when it finishes baking. So in this bowl, I mixed together a little cinnamon and a little sugar, and I like to just come across the top with that before I put it in the oven for the last bake. Okay, just a little bit, you know, try to, you know, put a little bit in every little spot that you can. All right, leave it across our little heart. There you go. Now we're gonna put it back in the oven, still at 350, and we're gonna let it bake until it's golden on top, about 15 minutes or so. All right, there's your beautiful peach cobbler, and it's ready to be served at the Sunday dinner, the family reunion, or for whatever reason it is that you baked her. She's ready. I'm gonna try to dress up the rim of the waffle bowl by using a little bit of honey on there. Because, I chose honey because a peach cobbler it's kind of a delicate dish, even though it has a good strong taste to it, but it's still talking about adding things to it like chocolate and stuff like that. Those kind of things probably wouldn't go over really well with it. So what I have over here is a little cookie crumble that we made, and I'm just going to kind of go around the edges with the little cookie crumble there, just to kind of do something a little bit different with the cone. Now I'm going to put a little bit of that honey on the inner side of the cone. Hope you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Just going to go around the inner. So yeah, it's kind of hard to keep on there, but you get some of it to stay on. In this container, I have a cup of heavy cream here, heavy whipping cream. To that, I'm going to add some powdered sugar, and I'm going to put about a good tablespoon in there. Should be, just fine. A little bit more. We're basically going to sweeten this up. Okay, so now I'm going to put my little handheld mixer here in here and kind of get this until it gets a stiff peak. This is the consistency that we want it right now. It's very thick, okay? So we're going to get this out of here and then go to the next step. So now we're going to add this, I hope you can see it there, this mascarpone. Some people say mascarpone, some say mascarpone, but we do call it mascarpone cheese. We're going to add this to it. What this is, it is a very light cheese that I like to use with desserts, any desserts that have fruit in them. I really like using this, and it's sort of like the taste of a cream cheese if you've never used it before, but it's not as heavy as a cream cheese. So basically, I'm just going to mix this in here, and what it does is, it helps this whipped milk blend a little better. I hate I'm using my fingers there, but you know, this is family, right? Y'all with me on that? Okay, so we got that in there. A little mascarpone. Okay, and now I'm just gonna stir that in there, and it's gonna help that set up and kind of hold this on. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of that Bacardi rum in there, and I'm just gonna swirl that together to give it a little bit more flavor. So we're gonna fill up our bowl here. Let me push this back a little bit to make sure you can see what we're doing. Okay? And you see it's not a lot of juice in this cobbler. It's just the way we want it. So I'm gonna put a little bit more right here in the center. I want it heaping up in the center there, okay? So now, move this out of my way, and I reserved a few peaches here, just in case, you know, enough of them were not peeking up for me. So I just put one over there, and now, what I want to do is take a little bit of this crumble that we used around the bowl, and I want to kind of come over this cobbler. Okay, so now I have brought out the mascarpone mixture that we made out of the fridge, and I put some in a little bag, and you all know that little trick to make your bag into a little piping bag. I cut the little tip off of there, and I'm just gonna kind of ooze a little bit of that around. And it's so good on cheesecake. On cobbler, you guys. That cheese, oh my. Okay, just a little something on there. Not real fancy. I'm not a fancy decorator there. And so now what I want to do is take a few more of the little cookie crumbles here that we have, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of those on top there, like so. And then I'm gonna put just a little dollop of ice cream on there. And we go like so. A little bit more. Alright, y'all, we back. Y'all, did we do it? Did we do it? I think we did it. Y'all, this thing right here, you know I had to eat half of one before I came on here with y'all, but baby, I wouldn't even been able to get through this end if I had not eaten, because I've been smacking all the way. And my son, Chevron, gets on, Mom, you shouldn't be smacking in front of folk. Folk don't like that. Well, okay. I got you, so that's why I wait to the end to take my little smack of baby right here. Peach cobbler with this ice cream and this good old mascarpone. See there, y'all look at that. And this mascarpone, oh my God, mascarpone. Honey, that is the stuff when you're trying to put something on a little light dessert right here. But anyway, that Bacardi rum showed out in the cobbler and in this cheese mixture also. And then you know that little bluebell on top don't hurt nobody. But y'all, I'm gonna get on out the way, y'all, because I'm about to go on and get into this. I want to thank you all for joining me. Give this peach cobbler a try. You can stop right at the peach cobbler like I did that little piece, and y'all know I had to put a heart on there because I love y'all. I had to put a little heart there. Oh yes, I did. But anyway, you can stop right there at that cobbler with a little heart on it, or you can keep going on to serve it up in a little something like this in this little waffle bowl right here. And then I put it in my other little waffle bowl there. You see I did that. But okay, I'm gonna go on and get out y'all way, y'all. Thank y'all again. And if you like this recipe, show me a little like too. Okay, y'all, this is it right here. It's over. Don't forget to come back here on Wednesdays and Saturdays, y'all. Y'all know how I always just get all mixed up when I'm trying to be greedy, y'all. But join me back here every Wednesday and Saturday when I post, and y'all know it's always gonna be kept boozy. Okay, here we go. Put a peach in here right now. Peach, come on, peach. Oh, don't drop in front of the camera and let folks see me being all greedy. Look at that.